Okay, let us start now. Are you ready? Please come on. I am ready now. Hello. Yes. Hello. Are you ready, all of you? Please hurry up. Okay. We have seen two things. Number one, medicine is not the remedy to cure any disease, but the symptoms are suppressed by the medicines, and that suppressions of the symptoms create side effects. Number one. Number two, innate immunity, which is given by the God to us at the birth time, is the best remedy to keep our body far away from corona, cancer, diabetes, heart attack, TB, and other diseases. Number three, why these side effects? What are the side effects? What are the real causes of the side effects? Now we are going slowly to discuss. Second thing we have seen, human being is 100% vegetarian. Scientifically, we have proved it. Human being is not non-vegetarian. I have done the trials. In front of the small calf of local cow and calf of the buffalo, in one dish, I have kept the plant-based food, that means fruits, grass, and leaves. In second pot, I have put the meat, animal-based food, non-vegetarian food. Even small children of human being having 6 year old, 36 year old, we have taken the trials. In one pot we have put the fruits, fresh fruits, and in another pot we have put the eggs and meat. And we have focused the camera. Nobody was there, only children. And we were observing their behavior. They have taken the fruit in the hand, kept. They have taken the meat in the hand, they kept. Sometimes they thought they rejected the meat. They started to eat the fruit. The children are innocent. They can take the perfect decision. Even in the animal also, animal calf has not touched the meat. They started to eat the grass. That means it is proved 100%. Human being is 100% wheat. In England, they fed meat to the cows. In England, cow keeper fed the meat, animal-based food, to the vegetarian cow. Jesse Olstein. And lakhs of the cows were suffered by mad cow disease. And millions of the cows were slaughtered. The cow body has not accepted the non-vegetarian food, created the side effects as a mad cow. In original primary stage of the human civilization, in the primary stage of the human civilization in Africa, because last ice age was started from 32,000 from today on the earth, 70% earth land was covered by the ice, dense ice. Only 30% African land was saved without ice. And middle stage of the human race was developed in Africa. And then tribes were scattered throughout the world. from Africa in Middle East, from Middle East in Southeast Asia, from Southeast Asia to the Myanmar in India, Sri Lanka, and all other South Asian countries, and one branch from Southeast Asia to Australia and New Zealand. In the initial period of the human civilization, tribal human was eating only the fruits, leaves, pods, and tuber. Was not eating the grain because grain was not digestible in the intestine of the human being. There are not digestive enzymes are existed in the human intestine which can digest the grain as a whole. Initially, grain was not the food of humans. Grain was food of birds and insects. Even grain was not the food of cows, buffaloes, and vegetarian animals. The grains were the food only of birds and insect, because in the intestine of the birds there are specific species of the digestive enzymes which are digesting state the grain as a whole. I have done the trials. When we eat the grain are not digested by our intestine. As a whole grain are coming out by our excreta. I have done one trial on local cow. I have taken 100 seeds of the sorghum, jawar, coarse millet, and that 100 seeds of the jawar, jonnam, fed to local cow through the bread. And second day I have investigated dung. There was no any grain, whole grain of the sorghum was coming out in the dung of that year. Next day, after 48 hours, entire 100 seeds came back as it is in the dung. No single seed was digested. That means the grains were not the food of vegetarian animal as a whole. Fruits, leaves, pods, and tubers. was the food of tribal human in the initial stage of the human civilization. Afterward, the ancient humans seen that birds are coming and they are eating specific grains of specific grass. They are strongest. They are flying so many kilometers, 100,000 kilometers from Siberia to India. They thought that means something is miraculous in these whole grains of the grasses. They thought if the birds can eat the whole grain of the grasses, whether it is possible to eat us, human, they tried. They tried to eat the grains of specific grass which was eaten by the birds, and they saw beautiful taste. But what is happened? By the teeth, it was not possible to crush the seed. So next day, seeds were coming outside by the excreta as it is. So they thought, if we will prepare the powder of the grains, then it can be digestible. And they start to convert the grains into powder and they eat. It was digested. No problem. But it was not easy to eat the powder. Then they started to mix the powder with the water. They prepared the bread. They started to eat. Again, intestinal disorders were created. They thought whether we will fry this bread on the fire, it may be become digestible. They tried, they saw it is totally digested, no problem, intestinal, and they got energy. And from that incident, ancient tribal humans started to eat the grains of the specific grass, and they have given the first grass name finger millet ragi. Finger millet was the first crop discovered by the ancient human being. Then second crop was discovered, that is proso millet, then kodo millet, then little millet, then brown top millet, then pearl millet, then sorghum, and then other millets. Millets was the first discovery of ancient human as a crop. Later on, they discovered the pulses, oil seeds, and they included in the food. Nobody was eating the non-vegetarian food initially. They were living in the caves in the initial period of the human civilization. Population was increased and they thought that now caves are not enough to reside because population is more and caves are very small. We can't create the caves. They saw one bird is coming, gathering the grass material, and they are building their nest home. They thought if this bird is building their nest, their home, by collecting the available matter from the forest, from the nature, we can do also. So after maturation, the bamboos were fallen down after drying, dried branches were fallen down, grasses and vines, and they are utilized this waste material of the forest and they have built up a beautiful hut. That was the first residence of the ancient human, that is the hut. After some period, they thought that why we are not coming together and so many huts can be built up in small patch of the land so that community life can be started. Then so many huts are built up in the nearest area in small piece and community life was started by creating the small villages. They have not started cow picking it. Afterward, the ancient human has seen when the fruits are coming to mature, the birds and monkeys are coming, they are eating. They do not get sufficient fruit. This is competition in between ancient human and birds, ancient human and monkeys. Today also it is a competition. Lot of mango plantation is cut down because of the monkeys and attack of the birds. Today also. So during this crisis, they have seen that there are wild cows in the forest, huge quantity, wild cows, jungly guy. And that wild cow feeding the milk to calf. And when the calf drink the milk of his own mother, he start to very vigorous and very stout with full energy. That means something is more nutritious in the milk of the cow. They thought. They thought whether we can use the milk of the cow, whether we can start the cow keeping. They have tried and they got fantastic result. Then cow keeping was started. When they discovered the millets and pulses, the seeds were sown near the hut because at that time there was no agriculture, only dense forest. But when they have seen that we are sowing the millets near the hut, the population is increasing. So our need also increase to fulfill our additional demand of the grains. Whether it is possible to cut down the forest and start to sow the seed, and they have started the new system of the new methodology of the first technology of the agriculture farming, that is shifting culture. Shifting culture means to cut down the forest, to dig the soil, to eliminate the stump of the previous trees, spread out the seeds of the millets and pulses, mix it by the spade in the soil, and when rains come, they start to germinate and they get a bumper yield of the sown crops due to the very highly fertile soil. Millions of the year, those soil were under the forest with full fertility, continuous 3 years, due to the high fertility of the soil, high content of the organic carbon in the soil and carbon nitrogen ratio, they were getting full crop production. But after 3 to 5 years, when they saw that after 3 years or 5 years, the production was started to decline, that means they saw that productivity and fertility is decreased. So they cut down new forest. They left that agriculture on the nature. Again, the new forest was developed, and then new forest was cut down. Again, they started to cultivate the soil by spade and the instrument of the stone, and they are starting shifting culture. It is called Zoom Kheti, shifting culture. Today also in northeast Indian state, I have seen in the tribal people, shifting culture is continued. But it was a great effort to cut down the forest, to dig the soil, to grow the crop, again after 3 years, to leave that soil, to build up new forest, again cut down. There are so many efforts. Whether any remedy so that we can't cut down the new forest and we can continue old farming as it is in the future also. Any other remedy, manure, which can be utilized in the soil so that the fertility will be remain maintained, it will not reduce, and crop production will continue. They have started cow keeping. The huge heap of the cow dung manure were there. They thought whether it is possible to use that cow dung manure in that shifting culture, and they started to use. They got fantastic result. Production was continued, no reduction in the production, and since that period, did cow-based farming go other kheti. That means utilization of the cow dung manure was started in African countries first. Go Adharit Kushi, cow-based farming was started in African countries at the end point of the ice age, last ice age, 12,000 before year before today, from today, in Africa, and then when there was a dense drought in the African countries, they were having the millions of the local cows. They started to migrate with the local cows, and this cow-based farming technology in the Middle East first. When there was a severe drought in Middle East, again they migrated to Southeast Asia, and one branch from Middle East started to migrate from Iran with their local cows and cow-based farming technology. From Iran, they entered in Afghanistan, Balochistan, then Sindh Prant, Punjab, and after Punjab, they spread out in entire North India. And afterward, this African technology, Go Adhat Kushi, was spread out throughout India by ancient tribal people. Satyu. Cow-based farming is not Indian technology, it is African technology. Number one. When there was severe drought, very low rainfall, first in the Middle East, afterward in the Sindh. So they started with large scale cow keeping, and due to the continuous drought, there was no crop, only cow keeping and small grasses to feed the cows. The cow milk became their food. And now it is traditional to drink the cow milk, to eat the curd and the ghee, clarified butter. Question is that the God has developed, designed the human intestine to accept only plant-based food material. human intestine accept and can digest only the leaves, fruits, pods, flowers, after cooking the grains and tubers. Because this plant-based food is the food of vegetarian animal. Plant-based food is vegetarian food. I am asking one question to you. Whether to drink the cow milk is vegetarian food? No. Because milk is not vegetarian food. Milk is not plant-based food. Milk is not produced on the plant body. Milk is given the cow. And cow is not a plant. Cow is animal. That means milk of cow, buffalo, goat, sheep is not a vegetarian food. It is not a plant-based food. It is animal-based food. So, cow milk, buffalo milk, or goat sheep milk is not human food because it is not a plant-based food. But cow milk may be plant-based, animal-based food, but is not a non-vegetarian food because milk is not a meat. That means cow milk is not a vegetarian food. For human being, cow milk is not a non-vegetarian food. For human being, cow base is totally different category. The question is that if cow milk, buffalo milk, or goat sheep milk, camel milk, donkey milk is not a plant-based food, and plant-based food only is the vegetarian food, that means to eat the milk, to eat the curd and ghee, clarified butter of local cow, buffalo, or western cow, or sheep goat is not a vegetarian food. It is a animal-based food, so it is not a human food. Scientifically, you study very well, minutely. Scientifically, you will see that it is the reality. If anybody will claim that cow milk, buffalo milk is a vegetarian food, they have to prove scientifically that milk is produced on the plant body. It is totally impossible to prove it because milk is not produced on the plant body. Milk is produced in the stomach of the local cow. So, local cow milk also is not a human food, is not a vegetarian food because it is not a plant-based food, it is 100% animal-based food. Satyu. Why we are eating the milk? You study entire animal kingdom. You will see, excluding human being, except human being, nobody animal is eating the milk of another animal except the milk of real mother. You see and observe. Calf of the cow is not eating the milk of buffalo. Buffalo calf is not eating the milk of cow. Sheep goat calf is not eating the milk of cow and buffalo. In entire animal kingdom, nobody animal is eating the milk of another animal except real mother milk. That means God has given strictly guideline to the human. The real right of the calf on the milk. There is only one right of the calf to eat the mother milk. Human being has not any right to steal the milk from the calf and to eat himself. It is totally crime against the God. Why all other animals are not drinking the milk of another animals? Why? Because it is the law of the God. They are following 100%. 100%. Local cow are not created by human being. First, local cow came on the earth, and after lakhs of the year, human came on the earth. That means local cow are not created by human being. Local cow are created by the God. Local cows are the angel of the God, Devduta, Devduta. Because local cow are created by the God, not human being. Local cow cannot speak with you. Local cow cannot dialogue with you. But there is a body language of the local cow. Through the body language, local cow is giving the message to you. That message which was given by the God to local cow. Through the local cow, God is giving message to human being. What message is given by the God? By means of local cow. Local cow cast dung and urine on the soil. Local cow is giving the order. Go Mata is giving the order to human being. I am giving the dung and urine on the earth. That means you have to use dung and urine on the soil. As it is. As it is. Because God has given uncountable species of the microorganism in the local cow dung. Uncountable, which are having the main role in the soil to create the humus. Uncountable species of the microorganisms sent by God through the dung of the local cow. Every species of uncountable species are having specific role in the creation of the humus in the soil. If God want, God may send 50, 60 species only in the dung of the local cow. If the 50, 60 are enough, but not, God has sent millions of the species of the local cow in the dung. I have verified in the laboratory and I have seen in 1 gram of the local cow dung, minimum 300 crore, 3,000 millions of the beneficial effect to microorganisms I have seen. Which are having the great role in the humus creation. Humus is the fertility and productivity of the soil. Humus is the aliveness of the soil. Humus is the food stock of the roots of every plant. Humus is the heart of the soil, mother soil. God is giving the message to human. Please utilize dung in the soil as it is. Don't select 5 to 6 species of the microorganisms or 50, 60 species of the microorganism and don't develop the biofertilizer as waste decomposer, EM solution, Go Krupa Amrutam. No culture at all. No culture at all. Because the God says, I have sent trillions of the species of the microorganisms which are having the great role in the creation of the humus. Everybody is involved in the creation of the humus. I want to utilize entire microorganism flora in the soil. So you utilize dung as it is in the soil. Don't select and use specific species of the bacteria and don't create the Go Kupa Amrutam, weight decomposer, EM solution and other cultures. But if you are not following the God, if your behavior is against the God, you are selecting 4, 5 speedily decomposing species of the microorganism and you develop one culture, weight decomposer, 50, 60 species you select and you create a new formula of the culture that is waste decomposer, Go Krupa Amrutam and EM solution. This behavior is totally against the guidelines of the God, guidelines of the Go Mata, local cow. You are not following the guideline of the Go Mata and you are not following the message of the God given through the local cow to you. You are behaving against the local cow and God? How we can say that you are Go Bhakta? You are not Go Bhakta. You are against the cow. You are not spiritual because your behavior is against the God guideline. You are atheist. You are not the spiritual. In the nature, there is no culture. In the dense forest, there is no Go Krupa Amrutam, no waiting composer, no EM solution, no garbage enzyme, which is a wine. Nothing, unnatural things are not existed in the nature, in the system of the God. And you are developing those unnatural things and utilizing. How we can claim that you are a spiritual? You are not spiritual. You are atheist. You are atheist. Nastika. Nastika. You are not Adhyatmika. In Subhash Palekar natural farming, while utilizing the local cow dung as it is, 100%, we are not separating any species of the microorganism and creating any culture. No, we are utilizing as whole dung in the preparation of the Jivamrutam, Ghana Jivamrutam. We are following 100% guidelines of the Go Mata and God. We are the real Go Bhakta of the Go Mata and God. We are not the atheist. We are 100% real spiritualist. We have the right to claim that we are, yes, we are Go Bhakta. We are Go. We are the follower of the local. All the guidelines we are following. Local cow is giving the dung and urine on the soil, giving the guideline use as it is in the agriculture. But again, the guideline of the God, when you prepare cow dung manure, farm-made manure from that dung, compost, vermicompost, native compost, biodynamic, Panchagavya, Dashagavya. That means you are not following Gomata. Gomata strictly has given the guideline, don't create anything out of my guideline. Use the dung as it is. Those who are using cow dung manure, compost, vermicompost, native, wet decomposer, Gokrupa Amrutam, EM solution, garbage enzymes, which are wine, and also while utilizing the chemical fertilizers, compost, vermicompost, biodynamic, Panchagavya, Dashagavya, they are not following the guidelines of the Gomata because these technologies are not existed in the nature, in the forest. In the dense forest, the constitution of the God, you see the huge trees with uncountable fruits, without any human assistance and existence, uncountable fruits every year, without human existence and assistance. You see under that tree No cow dung manure is utilized by the god. No compost, vermicompost is utilized by the god. No native compost is utilized by the god. No vermicompost, no biodynamic, no waste decomposer, no Goprukambutam, no EM solution, nothing, 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 no Panchagavya, no Dashagavya, nothing. No non-edible oil cake, nothing is there. So God is giving the message, not necessary to utilize all these things, unnatural things. Only utilize the dung and urine as it is. And the Subhash Palekar natural farming, we are not utilizing cow dung manure, we are not utilizing compost, vermicompost, native, non-edible oil, cakes, and your Panchagavya, Dashagavya, Agnihotra, nothing, nothing, nothing. No organic fertilizer, nothing, nothing, nothing. We are utilizing only whole cow dung and urine as it is in the preparation of the Jivamrutam, Ghana Jivamrutam, as a culture of the microorganism, not as a manure, not as a. Okay. Local cow is standing and when there is a calf to drink the milk below the teat, the local cow gives the milk in the mouth of the calf. Otherwise, no. Otherwise, no. Otherwise. You keep the bucket under the teat of the local cow or any buffalo, any other vegetarian animal, and you pray, Go Mata, cow, please give the milk. I am your best Go Bhakta. Give the milk. Local cow will not give the milk. Go Mata will not give the milk. No. You pray a lot of, not at all. She will not. Local cow will give the milk in the mouth of the only the calf. What is the meaning of this behavior? What is the message is giving by Gomata to you, local cow? The specific message is given by the Gomata as the angel of the God. That means the message of the God, by means of the Gomata, God is giving the message to human being. The only calf is having the right on the local cow milk. Human is not having the right to drink the milk of the local. Body language of the local cow as an angel of the local God is giving the message. I have given the right to the calf to drink the local cow milk. I am not given the right to the human being to drink the cow milk. It is the only right of the calf of the local cow or calf of the buffalo and sheep and goat. Body language of the local cow says that I am giving the milk in the mouth of my calf. It is the right of the calf to drink my milk. You have not the right to steal my milk and drink. Gomata is giving the message to you. What is the meaning? Why Gomata is giving this guideline? Because Gomata is giving the bullock to cultivate our soil. Gomata is giving the strongest bullock pair for the cultivation practices in the farming. 12,000-year history of the farming. There was no tractor. There was no tractor at all. Only bullock pair was utilized. God is giving the message to use the bullock only in the farming. Don't use these bhasmas to the tractor. God is giving the message. Nobody is believing the God. Nobody is believing in the Goma. Everybody is behaving against the guidelines of Gomata. That means the God has created local cow only to give available the dung as it is in the soil and to give the bullock, strongest bullock, for the practices in the farm. To the farm. If this is the reality, then question will be arise that our Gir, Thaparkar, Red Sindhi, Saiwal, Rathi are giving 20 liters milk. Calf want only 2, 3, 4 milk, 4 liter milk. Why these cows are giving multiple quantity of the milk? And why, how we can utilize this? Question may arise. I have seen all the breeds in Africa. Gir, Thaparkar, Rathi, Saiwal, Red Sindhi, which are the high-yielding varieties of the cow, I have seen in millions of the strength in the African countries. And initial period of the human civilization, when they started to cow keeping, the cows were giving milk only that much quantity which are required for the calf. This Saiwal, this Gir, Thaparkar, Rathi, Red Sindhi, which are giving 20 liter, 15 liter milk per day, at that time, in ancient days, they were giving only 2, 3 liters milk, maximum per day. When you give the animal feed to feed the cow, the milk production is increased. If you will not give the animal feed, you give only grass to high-yielding breeds of the local cow, give Thapaka, Rathi, Congress, Saiwal, the production of milk is declined. That means these high-yielding breeds of the local cow, which additional milk they are giving, it is the impact of the feed which are fed to the local cows, maybe non-edible oil cakes or human-made another animal feeds. Basically, this is not the food of local cow. Local cow food is only grass and leaves. Not human-made feed is the food of local cow. It is unnatural. It is unnatural. When you see the holistic approach, we will see vegetarian and non-vegetarian. No mix. No mix. Fundamental science says human being 100% vegetarian. That means plant-based food is the vegetarian food. Cow milk, buffalo milk, goat milk, sheep milk is not a plant-based food. It is an animal-based food because cow, buffalo are the animals, not are the plants. So milk is not a human food. We are discussing about the side effects. That is the main subject. And what I am putting is strictly related to side effects of the medicine, of the body. In the nature, no any animal is drinking drinking the milk of another animal. Not at all. Not you cannot see. We are differentiating natural food, unnatural food. Natural food control the diseases. Unnatural food create the diseases. So differentiation between natural food and unnatural food is most essential. And we are started to differentiate. After 1.5 year, our mothers, human mother, start to give the milk of local cow to the children. To feed the local cow milk or buffalo milk or goat milk, sheep milk to human children, whether it is natural or unnatural, let us investigate. Let us investigate. After completion of the cow milk feeding to the calf, cow is not demanding the milk to the buffalo so that cow can give the milk of buffalo to its calf. Why not? Why not? The buffalo milk is essential to calf. There is a reason. Why local cow is not demanding the human mother milk to feed his calf? Why? Because it is unnatural. If entire animal kingdom, you will see, maybe vegetarian, maybe non-vegetarian, they feed only real mother milk. In the initial period of the growth of infant child, afterward they stop the feed the milk of their own mother milk and they start to feed the plant-based food. No animal is stealing the milk of another animal and feeding to the cow. This proves that local cow milk or buffalo milk or sheep goat milk is not the food of human infant. It is not the food of human infant, human children. That means if you are feeding the local cow milk or buffalo milk or sheep goat milk to your children, your human children, or you are drinking yourself, it is unnatural food because in the nature it is not happened. It is not happened in the nature. I will use some example. I will do the comparison in your buffalo milk, local cow milk, and human milk. Human milk is having 3.4% of the fat. Human milk is having 3.4% of the fat. Local cow milk is having 4.1% of fat. That means more than human milk. Buffalo milk is having 6.5% fat, double than human milk. Why God has given double fat in the buffalo milk than the human milk? Because buffalo child is double size, human child is small, so demand of the buffalo child is more double than the demand of the human child. So God has given double amount, double proportion of the fat in the buffalo milk so that that can be digested easily by a buffalo child. But if the buffalo milk is having double fat than human milk, and if you will feed buffalo milk to human child intestine will not accept this double proportional fat because it is not digestible to human infant intestine. So rest of the milk is not accepted by the human intestine, human infant intestine. As a rule of the God, when anything is not accepted by the intestine, residues of that external food are deposited in the infant cells as a toxic garbage, and as it is a toxins, ultimately resistance power is reduced, become weak. Human milk 3.4% fat, local cow milk 4.1. That means 20% more fat is existed in the local cow milk than human milk. 20% more. Not accepted because not digested. More than requirement. it creates the allergy in the body, and that allergy is called side effects. Again, I will give example. Most important example. Scientifically, I will put 100% fundamental science to you. 100% fundamental science. In human milk, protein is 1.1% in human milk. In local cow milk, protein is 3.2%. Triple quantity in the cow milk than human milk protein. In buffalo milk, the protein percentage is 4.3, means 4 times more than the human milk. That means, though God has given 1.1% protein in the human milk, so that entire protein can be digested by the intestine of the infant of the human, and he can get the energy. God has not given the capacity to the human intestine of the human infant to digest triple quantity of the protein and 4 times more quantity of protein. Not at all, not at all. Why the God has given multiple 4 times more protein in the buffalo milk than human milk? Why the God has given triple quantity of the protein in the local cow milk than human milk? Because human child is very small. Bullock child, local cow child is triple times more size, and buffalo is more than 4 times more size of the human child. So human child is very small. It wants only 1.1%. Local cow is a bigger one, 3 times more bigger one than human child. So triple protein are given by the God, and in the buffalo 4 times more protein has been given because it is a bigger one than local child and also human child. When you feed the local cow milk to the human child, you are pouring the triple quantity of the protein in the stomach of the human child. Totally not digested, because it is beyond the digestive capacity of the intestine of the human infant. Not digested. I will give an example. If there is a one small bowl basundi and a solid base of the milk, small bowl, okay, it is in it easy to digest. It will be easily digested. But when you eat the 10 times more, that is basundi, rabdi, that means the solid base milk, it is not digested. You feel indigestion, constipation, and ultimately the diseases are created. Because your intestine is not having the capacity to digest 10 balls. Your intestine capacity having to digest only one ball. Same rule can be adopted in the human child. Human infant is not having the capacity to digest 3 times more protein which are given by local cow milk. it is not accepted by intestine of the infant, of the human. As a result, it is not digested. And if it is not digested, the residues of the additional milk of the local cow, which are fed to the human infant, are deposited in the human cells, in the cells of the human intestine, in the body of the child, human child, as a toxic garbage. And that toxic garbage reduces the immunity, create the side effects. Milk sugar is the most important part of the growth, initial growth of the child, human child. Milk sugar. Dugdha Sharkara. In buffalo milk, the milk sugar is 5.1%. Local cow milk, 4.4% milk sugar. But in human milk, 7.4%. That means 75% more milk sugar is existed in human milk than local cow milk. Why? That means God has given 7.4% milk sugar to in the human milk because human child want more milk sugar than the infant of the local cow and than the infant of the buck. That is the most sugar, milk sugar is the necessity of the infant intestine of human being. Now mother milk feeding is stopped. You are feeding the local cow milk to the infant of the human being. Human being want 7.4% milk sugar, but you are giving only 4.5% milk sugar. That means the milk sugar deficiency is created in the intestine of the human infant. And there is a severe impact on the growth and development of the human infant because of the low availability of the milk sugar. Why you are doing these unnatural things to feed the local milk, local cow milk and buffalo milk, goat sheep milk to the human? It is unnatural. It is unnatural. Nobody in front of any other animal is drinking the milk of another animal. Not at all. That means it is unnatural thing. Calcium. Calcium is the 1% part of the body of the human being or animal infant. God has given in 100 gram of the milk of buffalo, God has given 210 gram of the calcium. In the local cow milk, God has given 120 gram of the calcium, but in the human milk, God has given only 28 gram of the calcium. Now we will compare. In the milk of the local cow, calcium content is 5 times more than the human milk. In buffalo milk, 8 times more calcium is existed than human milk. Why? Why God has given the calcium highest quantity in the buffalo milk? Why God has given medium quantity of the calcium in the local cow milk? And why God has given minimum quantity of calcium in human milk? Because human infant is small, local cow infant is double bigger one, and buffalo is bigger one. So demand of the body of calcium is too much high of the buffalo infant than human infant. The demand of calcium of local calf is more high than the local calf, human calf. So God has given minimum calcium in the human milk, maximum calcium in the local cow milk and buffalo milk. But when you feed local cow milk to human infant, you are injecting 4 times more calcium inside the body of the stomach of the human infant. 3 times, 4 times more than requirement. Ultimately, this calcium is not digested by the intestine of the human infant. It is totally rejected. And when it is not accepted by the infant intestine, ultimately, residues of the calcium are deposited in the cells of the human infant as a toxic garbage. As it is toxins, is poison, it destroys the immunity of the local cow. What we are doing, it is not a Go Bhakti and it is not a Mano Bhakti. Iron. In buffalo milk, 100 gram of the buffalo milk, God has given 0.2 gram of the iron. Same 0.2 gram iron is given in local cow milk. But in initial human milk, the God has not given single gram of the iron. Why? Because in the initial growth period of human infant, iron is not required. But the calf of the local cow is required minimum iron and buffalo also minimum iron. The human infant does not want iron, and you are feeding local cow milk, you are introducing the iron deliberately in the stomach of the human infant, not accepted by human infant intestine, it rejected, and as a law of the God, any unnatural thing which is inserted in the stomach of living being are not accepted, are rejected, and if you are deliberately feeding, the residues are deposited in the human cells as toxic garbage, and as they are the toxins, they destroy the immunity. What we are doing, I don't know what we are. Minerals, vitamin C. In 100 gram of the buffalo milk, vitamin C contains usually 1.0 milligram. In 100 gram of the buffalo milk, vitamin C content is only 1.0 milligram. In local cow milk, it is 2.0 milligram, and in human milk, it is 3.0 milligram. That means in the human milk, the vitamin C content is 3 times more than the buffalo milk and 50% more than the local cow milk. Infant intestine want 3 times more, 50% more vitamin C, and in the cow dung, local cow milk, only 2%, 2 milligram. That means 50% less than the human milk. You are not fulfilling the requirement of the vitamin C of the human infant. Human infant requirement is 3 milligram. You are feeding 2 milligram, less, 50% less than requirement. Ultimately, deficiency of the vitamin C is created in the human infant, and you know, deficiency of the human vitamin C create respiratory distress, respiratory problems, and lungs problem also. Cold, bronchitis, and corona. When you feed the local cow milk to the human infant, you will see continuous flowing of the mucus from the nose of the children. Cough, cough, and respiratory problems. Asthma, bowel asthma. What you are doing, what you are doing, what you are doing. Minerals. In buffalo milk, 100 gram of the buffalo milk, 0.8 gram of the ash, that means minerals, has existed. In local cow milk, 0.8 gram of the minerals has existed in 100 gram of the local cow milk, but in 100 gram of the human milk, there is a 0.1, only 0.1 minerals are existing. Why God has given 8 times more minerals in the local cow milk than human milk? Because human infant intestine want very less quantity of the minerals for the growth and development of the body. But the local calf want 8 times more minerals to growth and development of the calf of the local cow. That means human infant want only 0.1% minerals. In the milk of the local cow, 8 times more minerals are existed. When you are feeding local cow milk to calf, to infant of the human, you are inserting 8 times more minerals in the intestine of the local, in the human child and it is not accepted. It is totally rejected by the human child, infant intestine, and as a rule of the God, when anything is rejected by the body because it is unnatural thing, natural requirement is only 0.1 and you are giving 8 times more, it is unnatural requirement is created in the body. It is not accepted. Ultimately, it is deposited, residues are deposited of the minerals in the body cells as a toxic garbage and add is a toxins, that means it is a poison, it destroys the immunity. Energy. In 100 gram of the buffalo milk, energy is 117 kilocalorie. In 100 gram of the local cow milk, energy is 67 kilocalorie. And in human milk, 100 gram of the human milk, energy is 65 kilocalorie. Human child intestine want only 65 kilocalorie energy. When you feed the local cow milk, you are giving additional energy to the infant. When you are feeding the buffalo milk, you are giving double energy, not accepted by the infant intestine. And as a rule of the God, unnatural things are deposited in the human cells as a toxic garbage, and it is a toxic garbage which are deposited in the cells. If these toxic garbage are not detoxified, then they create the reaction to the body, which are called side effects, allergy, and we lose our immunity. What we are doing? I am asking the question. Cow keeping is not to drink the milk of local cow by human. Cow keeping is only to use the dung as it is, urine as it is, and bullocks as it is. Human is not having right on the cow milk and buffalo milk, goat milk, sheep milk. Only their calf is having the right to eat, not human is having the right. In the local cow milk, the main part is casein. Casein. Casein is the main constituent in the local cow milk. This casein is highly indigestible. It is not easily digested, casein. Maybe beta casein A1 or beta casein A2 are not easily digested. Now we see when you feed the local cow milk to human infant instead do not want casein. Do not want casein, it is a science. You are feeding deliberately the casein. It is not digested by intestine of the human infant, rejected, not accepted. As a result, the residues of the casein are deposited in the infant cells as a toxic garbage. As it is toxins, create the side effects, create allergy, and immunity is lost. Yeah. In the milk of the local cow, there are antioxidant and lactoferrin. प्रति पानीत lactoferrin. These antioxidants and lactoferrin are giving the resistance power to the body of the infant. So it is very essential to have a lactoferrin and antioxidants in the milk, maybe in the milk of the human milk or cow milk or buffalo milk. We will compare. In local cow milk, lactoferrin is only 0.01%. In local cow milk, lactoferrin and antioxidant, which are most important, which create a resistant immunity in the even infant body of the human being, is in the local cow milk is only 0.01%. But in human milk is 0.15%. That means in human milk, antioxidant and lactoferrin is 15 times more than local cow milk. That means human infant want 15 times more lactoferrin, and when you feed the local cow milk to human infant, you are giving very less, 15 times more less lactoferrin and antioxidants to the human infant, and a great deficiency of the lactoferrin and antioxidant is created in the human child body. Ultimately, they face due to the lack of the lactoferrin, the resistance power is not created, and infant of the human being is facing so many diseases, health problems. What we are doing, I think that it is to be discussed very important to discuss. This lactose sugar existed in only mammals, which are the tits mammals, and that lactoferrins are created only for infant, not for adult. Lactose sugar is existed in the milk of only infants, in the mammals. Mammals mean those are having the tits. These are the mammals. Cow, human, buffalo, all the are having the tits, they are mammals. God has given this lactose sugar only for infant, not given to adult human. In the cow milk, local cow milk, lactose sugar is 4.5%. And in human milk, lactose sugar is 7%. That means in the human milk, lactose sugar quantity is more 60% more, 60% more than local cow milk. When you feed the local cow milk to a human infant, you are not supplying 100% lactose sugar. Deficiency of the lactose sugar is created in human infant, and that deficiency creates resist power, reduction or losing the immunity, and create child diseases. What we are doing? That means it is very essential to accept one truth that maybe local cow milk, maybe buffalo milk, maybe goat sheep milk is not the food of human, is not the food of children, is not the food of old human or adult human. Because local cow milk or buffalo milk or sheep cow milk is not a plant-based food, it is animal-based food. So animal-based food is unnatural for human, and when it is unnatural, not accepted by human, and as a law of the God, when anything unnatural is fed to human being, not accepted by intestine, and a result, the residues of the milk or milk products are deposited in the human cell as a toxic garbage, and this toxic garbage is a poison, destroy the immunity, and we face so many health problems. So many claims are done by commercial cow keeper. Thousands of cow, high-yielding cow, Gir, Tharparkar, Saiwal, Red Sindhi, thousands of cow, millions of the cow. And they claim the clarified butter, that means ghee, tup, ghee, is most essential as a human feed, as a human food. So you take the loan from bank, you take the loan from moneylender to purchase the 3,000 rupees per kg ghee from these commercial cow keepers so that your health will become stronger. I will ask one question to these so-called commercial cow keepers, which are selling 150 rupees per kg milk, 3,000 rupees per kg ghee to the people. A huge body of the elephant, a huge energy, a huge power. Do not eat the milk. Do not eat the ghee. Do not eat the sweets. Only eating the grass and leaves. So also strongest, free from diseases, having strongest immunity. Why? If the buffalo is not eating the ghee, Bullocks are not eating the ghee. Horses are not eating the ghee. They are full of energy, running so many kilometers without any break. What are the sources of the energy? Only grass and leaves. That means plant-based food, leaves, fruits, pods, flowers, tubers, grains, having sufficient fat, which is required for human body, supplied by vegetarian food, and fulfill the all requirement of the fat of the body. How much fat is required for human body? If entire fat is supplied, entire energy is supplied by only plant-based vegetarian food to the human, why we are eating the ghee? That is my question. Not necessary at all. Not necessary. Nobody animal in any animal kingdom eating the ghee. That means ghee is unnatural thing. Ghee is unnatural thing for human body. And every unnatural thing is rejected by human body because it is not existed in the nature. The ghee, clarified butter, is not produced on the plant body. Not at all. It is separated from the milk of the animals. Ghee is not plant-based food. So, ghee is unnatural, not exist in the nature. So, ghee, clarified butter, is not accepted by human intestine. Ultimately, the residues of the ghee are deposited in the blood vessels, and when the fats are deposited in blood vessel, the flow of the blood want to circulate very forcefully, but the flow of the blood is restricted by the deposition of the fat in the blood vessel. So blood try to build up the more pressure to flow. It is not possible. Ultimately, as a result, high blood pressure is increased. And when high blood pressure is increased, there are clotting of the bloods in the blood vessels. The supply of the blood is not supplying to the brain in required quantity. When the heart is not getting the required quantity of the blood to pump, ultimately heart become failure, and we say heart attack. Heart attack. Who said ghee is required? Who said unnatural fat is required? It is totally unnatural. Totally. milk, curd and ghee are having animal proteins. Eggs, meat and fish are having animal proteins. Polysaturated proteins. The human body wants plant-based protein, not animal-based protein. Only plant-based protein which are existed in the leaves, in the fruits, in the grains, in the pods, the tubers of the plant body are accepted by human body. But animal-based proteins and fat is not accepted by human body. Why? Because it is unnatural. It is unnatural. And when you eat animal-based protein and fat through milk product, ghee, milk and curd, through non-vegetarian food, that means eggs, fish and meat, these animal proteins are totally unnatural to human body, not accepted by human body, are totally rejected, and ultimately the residues of these unnatural, unrequired animal proteins and fats are deposited in the human cells at a toxic garbage, and as it is a toxins, destroy our immunity. What we are doing, what we are doing, what we are doing. And this unnatural behavior, unnatural food destroy our immunity. Ultimately, due to the lack of the immunity, we face corona, cancer, diabetes, heart attack, tuberculosis, and all other deathful diseases. We are comparing natural food and unnatural food. Nature is the book. Nature is the book. Mangala, Narayana, nature is the book. You read the nature, you will get all the information, all the knowledge and science. Don't depend on human written book, Mangala Narayana. Don't depend upon the human written book. Nature is the book of the God. Nature is the constitution of the God. Nature is the book of the God. When you read the nature, ultimately you can read the God system. I have studied the nature very well. Since 1988 to 2012 year, I was in research. And I have studied the nature very well. Animal kingdom, plant kingdom. Then I came to conclusion that unnatural things are not accepted by the human intestine, and it loses the immunity, and we create so many diseases and human health problems. Number one. Number two. Number two. When you eat chemically grown food, when we eat chemically grown food, we deposit the residues of the chemical fertilizers, poisonous insecticides, fungicides, herbicides, hormones in our human body cells as toxic garbage. When you give urea to the soil, and when urea is coming, getting the moisture in the soil, urease enzymes, split the urea molecule and urea is converted into ammonia. The roots of the plant body or crops are not accepting ammonia as a nitrogenous food. The roots of any plant want nitrogen in the form of nitrates. Ammonia is not accepted by the roots. So nitrosomonas and nitrobacter. Nitrosomonas, it is a bacteria. Nitrosomonas are the bacteria nitrosomonas and nitrococcus. Nitrosomonas and nitrococcus bacteria species are converting ammonia into nitrites. Nitrites, nitrites. These nitrites are not accepted by the roots. They want nitrogen in the form of nitrate. Then, in the next stage, these nitrites are converted into nitrates by nitrobacter bacteria and penicillium fungus. Nitrobacter bacteria and penicillium funguses are converting nitrites into nitrates. And these nitrates are getting available to the roots as a food. But how much quantity of the nitrates are created from urea are not utilized by the roots. Maximum nitrates are deposited in the soil. These nitrates are dissolved in the soil water or rainwater or irrigation water, and all these nitrates through the water is coming in the water resources, maybe irrigation water, maybe drinking water, and when we drink the water, ultimately residues of nitrates are entering in our body. These nitrates are external bodies, unnatural things to the human body, and human body deny unnatural things. So nitrates residues are deposited in the human cells as toxic garbage. You know, nitrates are highly poisonous, destroy immunity, destroy resistance power of the human body. And we create so many dreadful diseases as like corona, cancer, diabetes, heart attack, and also the tuberculosis, meningitis, Alzheimer's, and all other dreadful diseases. The local seeds, local plants, which are grown from local seeds, take nitrogen in safe quantity in the nitrate form, not more than requirement, not more than requirement. But the roots of hybrid varieties, the roots of genetically modified varieties are having the mentality to eat double nitrates than the requirement. Double nitrates. As the impact of the hybrid vigor, as the impact of the hybrid vigor, which is created by agriculture breeder scientists in the hybrid seeds and genetic modified seeds. Now, hybrid varieties of the cereals, hybrid varieties of the pulses, hybrid varieties of the vegetables, fruits, the roots have taken, absorbed double quantity of nitrates. Suppose the body want only 10 gram nitrate, but roots have absorbed 20 gram nitrate. That means 10 gram nitrates are additional, more than requirement of the actual requirement of the body. Ultimately, these excessive nitrates are unnatural now to the human body, to the plant body, and are deposited as a toxic residues, toxic garbage in the plant cells as toxic garbage. And when we eat chemically grown food, which are grown by hybrid varieties and genetically modified varieties, these additional nitrates are coming in the body through the food, chemically grown food of hybrid and the genetically modified varieties, and these are the unnatural nitrates to the human body, ultimately not accepted by human body, are deposited in the human cells as a toxic garbage, and we lose our immunity, we lose our innate immunity, and we face corona, diabetes, heart attack, cancer, so many deathful diseases. What we are doing? What we are doing? Residues of the phosphatic fertilizer, residues of potassic fertilizers, residues of the hormones are deposited in the soil, are absorbed by the roots in additional quantity, are deposited in the plant cells as toxic garbage, and when we eat chemically grown food, ultimately these residues are coming in our human body. These residues are unnatural things because human body does not accept the unnatural food. They want only natural food, plant-based food, and urea residues are not manufactured on the plant body, are manufactured in the industry. So urea residues and uh, fertilizers in such residues are unnatural things from human body, not accepted by human body, are deposited in the human cells as a toxic garbage, and it is a toxic garbage, toxins, poison. It destroys your immunity and you will face allergies, side effects on the body, and due to the losing our innate immunity, we suffer by corona, cancer, diabetes, heart attack, and so many deathful diseases. What we are doing, when you spray insecticide and fungicides on the standing crop, within 7 seconds, residues of the poison insecticidal residues are absorbed by the leaves immediately, within 7 seconds. And residues of the insecticide, fungicides are deposited in the fat in between two human cells and inside the human cells as a toxic garbage. And when it is deposited in the plant body, in the cells, plant cells, as a additional toxic garbage, when we eat chemically grown food, which are grown by spraying insecticide, fungicides, ultimately, these residues of the insecticide, fungicides are coming in our human body through the chemically grown food. And as these are the unnatural things for the human body, or not accepted by human body, are rejected and ultimately are deposited, residues are deposited in the human cells as a toxic garbage. And as is it a toxic garbage, toxins, poison, destroy our immunity, and we face deathful diseases. We face deathful diseases. What we are doing, entire chemical farming, feeding the human being and all living being, only poisons, unnatural food. It is a sin. It is a papam, not accepted by the God. And when you feed the poisonous food to anybody by practicing chemical farming, and you are feeding the poisons and committing the people to eat the poisons to the food, and when they die with the corona, cancer, diabetes, heart attack, you are committing to people to eat the poison to die with the cancer, diabetes, heart attack, corona. You are the responsible person. And to feed the poison to anybody is not a punya, it is a papam. It is a papam. It is sin. And this your behavior is totally against the God created system, because God has given the food to human being, poison free, natural food, plant-based food, not accepted by these unnatural things. That means when you practice chemical farming, when you promote chemical farming, when you support chemical farming, you are committing sin, papam. How you can claim that you are spiritual? No, you are not spiritual. You are not spiritual. You are not adhyatmika. You are nastika, pakhandi. You are atheist. You are atheist. And in daytime, you are committing this papam, giving fertilizer, spraying insecticide continuously on the steering crop. And evening, you are going in the temple to pray. God will not accept your prayer, and God will never accept you. Maybe you give 1 kilo gold to the God temple, but you are committing papam. Nothing is accepted by the God. Nothing is accepted by the God. You are against the God. You are not human. You are not human. Because humanism, human rights says, don't feed any poison to anybody. Poison-free food is the human right. And if you are giving the poison, you are not following the human right, because you are not the human. You are not the human. And you have no right to pray the God. You are destroying the system of the God. That means when you eat chemically grown food, ultimately our intestine does not accepting. Residues are rejected, not accepted. And all the residues of the chemical fertilizer, insecticide, fungicides, hormones, and also the biofertilizers are unnatural things, not accepted, deposited in the human cells as a toxic garbage, as it is a toxins, reduce our immunity, and we face deathful diseases. Innate immunity and our unnatural food. We are discussing about the relation. Innate immunity, which was given by the God to human to protect our body from deathful diseases, and that when innate immunity we are destroying by this unnatural food, which is grown chemically. Sadhu. What about organically grown food? Organic farming is having some inputs. Cow dung manure, compost, vermicompost, native compost, biodynamic compost, non-edible oil cakes, and marketable organic fertilizers. This compost, vermicompost, are having very highly poisonous heavy metals. Highly poisonous heavy metals. Cadmium, arsenic, mercury, lead, and also radioactive elements. It is scientifically proved, and I am giving the science in my books, new books, updated books in syllabus. 100% science, scientific evidence. When you manufacture the vermicompost, when you manufacture compost cow dung manure, these highly poisonous heavy metals are deposited in the cow dung manure, compost, vermicompost, specifically in vermicompost. What are the source of these heavy metals, cadmium, arsenic, mercury, lead, and radioactive elements? And it is scientifically proved by scientists. The main source of these highly poisonous heavy metals are chemical fertilizers. Chemical fertilizers having small quantity of the cadmium, arsenic, mercury, lead, and radioactive elements. Maybe thorium, maybe uranium, maybe another radioactive elements. And residues of the chemical grown crop, residues of the chemically grown crops are having deposited these heavy metals and radioactive elements. When you prepare cow dung manure, when you prepare compost, and specifically when you prepare vermicompost, all these residues of cadmium, arsenic, mercury, lead are coming in the plant body. Because roots absorb the heavy metals, ultimately coming on the plant body. And when you eat organically grown food, maybe in small quantity, but it is a highly poisonous. These heavy metals, cadmium, arsenic, mercury, lead, are coming in the human food, enter in our body, not accepted human body, because these are unnatural things. Ultimately, the residues of these highly poisonous heavy metals, cadmium, arsenic, mercury, lead, are deposited in human body as a toxic garbage, and as these are the toxic garbage, they destroy our immunity. We lose our innate immunity. And when our immunity is lost, ultimately, our body cannot fight successfully with the deathful diseases. And due to lack of the immunity, we suffer by corona, cancer, diabetes, heart attack. In the morning, in noon, I have given the information that God has given all diseases in our body, in our genes of the DNA, which are existed today. Corona also has been given by the God. Every disease having specific gene. Cancer is having specific gene. It is called oncogene. Everybody is having oncogene. Everybody is having corona gene, diabetes gene, heart attack gene, tuberculosis gene. But when these genes are become recessive, they slept, they are not active, they are inactive. They enter in the dormancy. We do not face by corona, cancer, diabetes, heart attack, and deathful diseases. But when this oncogene become dominant, then we face deathful diseases. We face cancer. Dominancy and violency. Because genes are not only become the dominant, they become violent. And then cancer cells attack on the human cell, they spread very speedily. And when our body is suffering by cancer, deathful disease. When the genes of the diseases break the dormancy, they break the recessive position, and they become dominant, jagrut. Then we suffer by the cancer, diabetes, heart attack. Oh. And the dominancy is created by residues of the chemical fertilizers, residues of the insecticides, residues of the fungicides, residues of the hormones which are sprayed on the standing crop, and residues of the heavily poisonous heavy metals, cadmium, arsenic, mercury, lead, and radioactive elements. All these unnatural things are entered in our body when we eat chemically grown food and organically grown food. They break the dormancy, and when the genes are breaking dormancy, they become active and they attack our body. First attack on the immunity, they destroy the immunity and they spread out in entire body. Ultimately, we face and we die with corona, cancer, diabetes, heart attack. What we are doing? We are discussing innate immunity, deathful diseases. What are the relations? And chemically grown food, organically grown. Natural food, unnatural food. In the nature, in the dense forest, there is no chemical farming. In the nature, huge tree of the mango, tamarind, sapota, with uncountable fruits every year, without human existence and assistance. You go to the dense forest and you observe under the dense huge tree, God is not utilizing urea, phosphate, potash. God is not utilizing compost, vermicompost, native, cow dung manure, biodynamic, Panchagavya, Dashagavya, Agnihotra, not utilizing waste decomposer, Go Krupa Amrutam, waste decomposer, EM solution, nothing. In the nature, chemical farming is not existed. That means chemical farming is not natural. It is unnatural because which is exists in the nature, that is natural, which is not exist in nature, that is unnatural. If chemical farming is not existed in nature, that is 100% unnatural. And organic farming also is not existed in the nature, it is 100% unnatural. So chemically grown food is unnatural. Organically grown food is unnatural. In the dense forest, no Panchagavya, no Dashagavya, no Agnihotra. That means Vedas farming is not existed in the nature. That means the food which is prepared by Vedas farming is unnatural, not accepted by human being. And yogic farming, mantra pathana, yoga sadhana, not existed in the nature. In the dense forest, no yoga sadhana, no mantra pathana, no incarnation, nothing, giving uncountable fruits. That means chemically grown food, organically grown food, Vedas farming food, yogic farming food, chemically grown food are 100% unnatural food, are not plant-based food. All these things are not developed on the plant body, so are not vegetarian food, are not plant-based food, not accepted by human being. Our intestine are rejected, and when intestine reject any external food which is unnatural, ultimately two options: detoxifications of the toxins, otherwise deposition in the human cells as toxic garbage, and as it is toxins, poison, it destroys our immunity and we suffer deathful diseases. I am putting 100% science and giving challenge to everybody. You prove that what I am giving today, it is not a science. They have to prove. Open challenge. What is knowledge? What is science? What is truth? And what is the dharma? I will verify in next seminar, clear cut with comparison scientifically. But when we come on the conclusion, natural, unnatural food. Natural food is accepted by human body, strengthen the immunity and keep our body far away from corona, cancer, diabetes, heart attack, and deathful diseases. Unnatural food is not accepted because it is unnatural, are deposited in the human cells as a toxic garbage. We lose our immunity and we create our own diseases, corona, cancer, diabetes, heart attack, and ultimate death. Our theme is that medicine is not a remedy to cure the deathful diseases, any disease. Medicine suppress the symptoms, not eradicate the symptoms, not eliminate the symptoms. And when medicine suppress the symptoms, this suppression creates side effects, and that side effects become deathful to human being. Allopathy medicine is not produced on the plant body. Allopathy medicine are manufactured in the factory with the chemicals, inorganic. Allopathy medicines are not natural because allopathy medicines are not existed in the nature. Allopathy medicines are not plant-based food. That means allopathy medicines are 100% unnatural to human body. And when allopathy medicines are unnatural to human body, may recover the symptoms, but actually symptoms are suppressed, not eliminated. And when these unnatural allopathic medicines or Kshara medicines of the Ayurveda are unnatural, bhasmas are unnatural, are not produced on the plant body. So these are not plant-based. And when you take allopathic medicine or bhasma from Ayurveda, ksharas, these unnatural things are not accepted by human body. These are the symptomatic medicines. May corona will recover. Symptoms of the corona will be suppressed, become invisible on the body, but corona is not neutralized. Corona is there with the suppressed position. And these residues of the allopathic medicines and Shara Bhasma of Ayurveda medicines are unnatural, not accepted by human intestine, are deposited in the human cells as toxic garbage, are the toxins, destroy immunity, destroy good bacteria and enzymes, which is supply chain. We will discuss in next time about innate immunity and functioning of the innate immunity, supply chain to immunity, good bacteria, intermediate bacteria, pathogenic bacteria, enzymes, everything we will discuss, vital power and your minerals, what are the importance of minerals and also vital power and your vitamins to strengthen the innate immunity and how supply chain is acting. Everything scientifically we will discuss in next program. Today, we are coming on the conclusion that allopathic medicines and bhasmas of Ayurveda medicines, as these are the unnatural things not accepted by human body, they may recover corona. Everybody is taking the treatment of allopathy in corona disease. 97% are recovered, 3% are died, not recovered. But those who are recovered by these allopathic medicines, corona patients, but this allopathic medicine, as a toxic garbage, they create side effects. And those who are not having any diabetes, not diabetes, no blood sugar, they are facing diabetes. They have to take every day the medicine of blood sugar to control the blood sugar. They have to take the medicine, allopathic medicine, continuously throughout the life to control the high blood pressure. Why? Due to side effects. Blood clotting is the side effect. Mucormycosis, black fungus is the side effects of the steroids. And side effects become more dangerous. There is a chain of destroying the immunity continuously. So, medicine is not a remedy to cure any disease. Medicine suppress the symptoms for few period so many people are having double corona, including Prime Minister also, global Prime Minister, doctors. And yesterday, fifth cricket test match in between India and England was cancelled. Why? Because physiotherapist and Ravi Shastri, who is the advisor of the team, and some players also detected as a positive. All the Indian cricket team players have done the vaccination double vaccination. They have completed. Physiotherapist completed. After taking vaccination also, they suffered by the corona. Why? Maybe they will not die. Maybe. They will small attack. But it is the truth that after vaccination also, there may be possibility to suffer by corona again. Study has not done thoroughly yet because corona is a new issue to medical science. Final reports are not received by any medical scientist. We can't claim today that after vaccination also anybody will not suffer by corona and they will not die. We can't say 100% today because we have not any scientific research information because it is uncompleted. It is starting now. Research is going on. Research is going on. But it does not mean that we don't take the vaccination. Yes, you take the vaccination. It is our commitment to take the vaccination. I will promote that you take the vaccination. But I can say vaccination is not alone remedy. We can't depend 100% on vaccination. We have to find out another alternatives of the vaccination so that we can keep our body away from the deathful diseases, corona. When any child is born, that child anti-tuberculosis BCG vaccine is given. So every child, since my childhood, if vaccination is given to avoid the tuberculosis TB, why TB hospitals are full of the patient? Everybody is vaccinated. My close relatives were vaccinated by vaccination of the tuberculosis. They suffered by tuberculosis. You go to the tuberculosis hospitals, all beds are full. Maybe cholera vaccination restricted cholera. I accept. I accept. But we can't say that vaccination is alone remedy. We can't say. We will discuss about it. No problem. Plague was controlled by vaccination. Accept. Cholera was controlled by vaccination. I accept. I accept. But when vaccination has been given, when vaccination is given, smallpox, Devi, controlled by vaccination. But when pandemic diseases were finished, there was no pandemic disease. Pandemic disease were finished. Then vaccines were developed because one vaccine development is taken 5 or 6 years and then vaccination has been given. New possibility of facing by cholera, plague, smallpox or any other human has restricted, given assured. But what about bacterial diseases like tuberculosis? After vaccinations also, if tuberculosis are attacked, the huge patients are tuberculosis hospitals. Millions of people are dying every year. That means vaccination is one remedy. to control the possibility of the diseases, but not alone remedy. We can't depend only on the vaccination. We have to take the vaccination. No problem. No hesitation. You take vaccination. Definitely you take. You have to take the vaccination. But after taking vaccination also, we have to search out alternative remedy. In the TB hospitals, patients are there, nurses, staff, and doctors are there, relatives also are there. When TB patient respire, exhaust, the breathing, millions of the bacteria of tuberculosis are coming in the air. Millions, everything are coming in the air. Entire environment of tuberculosis hospital is saturated by the bacteria of tuberculosis, TB. Nurses are taking the breathing, doctors are taking the breathing, the entire bacteria are coming in the body of tuberculosis TB, in the doctor's body or nurse's body. If the allopathic medicine science is claiming that bacteria create the diseases, then in the body of the nurses, in the body of the doctors, bacteria of the TB saturated, why they are not suffered by the disease, TB? Why in their body bacteria did not create the TB? Because nurses, doctors are having strong immunity in their body. So they will not suffer by the cancer. Corona, all 5 members of the family are suffering by corona. Some are negative, some are positive. Because those are having the strong immunity, they are negative. Those who are not having strong immunity, they are losing the immunity, they are positive. Suffer by the corona. All children are playing in the rain, incoming rains. All children are playing with open head. But some children suffer by nose blocking, cold, and some are not facing any problem. No. Why? All were playing in the rain, but some are affected by the rain. They are suffered by cold, and rest of the are not suffered by cold. They are strong. Why? Because those children were having the strong immunity. They are not suffered by the cold in rains, but those who have lost the immunity, they are suffering by the cold in the rain. At last, we come on the conclusion that medicine is not the remedy. Medicine is not the remedy. आपकी तरीका है अमित? Medicine suppress the symptoms. Maybe you get relief. Symptoms are neutralized because they are suppressed, they are not visible. You recover from the disease, from corona, you become negative. But actually, symptoms are suppressed in dominancy, and these suppressed symptoms create the side effects, and these side effects destroy the immunity. Unnatural food destroy the immunity, and we face deathful diseases. Medicine is not remedy. Only remedy, alone remedy, to do our resistance power, our innate immunity strongest, active. And when our innate immunity becomes strongest, active, we can keep our body far away from corona, cancer, diabetes, heart attack, tuberculosis, meningitis, Alzheimer, and all other deathful diseases. So, only alone remedy to build up our immunity stronger one. How to build up our immunity stronger one? What is the actual immunity? How immunity is practicing? What are the part of the immunity? How immunity is acting? What is the supply chain to supply vital power, oxygen, minerals, and vitamins to the immune cells? Which are the immune cells? How they become active? How this supply chain is destroyed? How we lose our immunity? All the things will be discussed thoroughly, scientifically in next seminar. Today is the first issue, 26th of the September. 26th of the September, Sunday, noon 1:30 to 8, we will start second episode of this subject. What is subject? Medicine-free human life. Medicine-free human life. Natural way of life. And without poisonless food, medicine-free human life is not possible. To how to grow poison-free food on the terraces and kitchen gardens, and unnatural behavior also is responsible for destroying the immunity. So how to continue our natural way of life? What are the other commodities which are utilizing in our daily life, which are responsible for the losing our immunity? Which food material are responsible for losing our immunity? We will discuss it thoroughly in second episode, 1:30 noon to 8 evening, 26 of the September this month, and you have our link of the channel. You forward this link to all your relatives, your friends, and your own network of groups in Facebook, on YouTube continuously, so that we can give the message to the all people how to save our body from dreadful diseases. In English books now, since 1.5 years, 18 months, I am writing the syllabus. I am writing the syllabus in English, Hindi, Marathi. I am writing personally, and this will be translated in all Indian languages. One English book is now ready on global warming and Subhash Palekar natural farming. Relation between global warming, to control the global warming, how Subhash Palekar farming technology is responsible. What are the impact of the global warming on the human health and our crop and environment? All things are discussed in that book. So you can demand that book from my office, and within 2 months, Back to Nature book will ready. So this is the first book in English. It is ready. You can demand at any time. You take the and it is, you see, a best quality of the paper and color photos. Everything you see here. You write down number of Amit Palekar. You contact Amit in the office and demand the books. He will sell. He will send 96 731 62240. 96 731 62240. Write down my WhatsApp number. This is Amit WhatsApp number also. Write down my WhatsApp number, because we will create new WhatsApp groups now in English for you people. Those who are willing to participate, to be a part of this WhatsApp group, they send message to my WhatsApp number or Amit WhatsApp number. Write down my WhatsApp number: 9850352745. 9850352745. You send message to me or Amit from your WhatsApp on my WhatsApp number. You give your address, phone number, details of the crop, terrace gardening you are practicing or you are willing to practice terrace gardening, everything you mentioned, so that we will include you in the new WhatsApp group, which will be created on 27th of this month. So again, in final, I will say, medicine is not the remedy. To strengthen our innate immunity is the real remedy. We will meet 26th of the September, noon 1:20. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. किती गेले पुस्तकं?